him.
Yep.
He's just an amazing person, and you'll see in a minute once we start talking to him.
He's really charismatic
Yeah.
and he's fun. He's a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, and he won't let you get away with just doing a typical Q&A response interview. He'll say something really inspiring or
Yeah.
emotional or something.
Yeah.
Now watch, he'll have an off day and he'll just like, hello, what's up?
What's up? Dog.
So first we're going to have irony, and then we're going to do our top 5 characters that we'd like to see come back to The Walking Dead and what situations or scenes that we'd want to see them in. We also got some of your feedback on that, so it should be really fun.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Let's do it, man.
This is Jason. How are you?
Jason, I'm good. This is irony.
So, man, it's good to hear your voice on here. I don't know if you know, but I've been doing this podcast since before The Walking Dead even started, and
I didn't have a clue.
And it's about time that I get to talk to you on here. And I want to tell you, just for the record, I know you've heard it a million times, but we and our listeners, we did not like it when T-Dog got killed off.
I appreciate it. I didn't like it either, but comes along with the territory when you're on The Walking Dead. You know,
That's
they can
right.
call your number any day.
I know, man.
At any time.
I think the death toll is probably in the dozens by now.
Yeah.
No one's safe.
No.
Well, this episode this is a segment of a larger episode. It's all about characters we'd like to see come back on the show. So I thought that would be a good time to bring you on, because we still miss you on there, and we still get comments about you all the time, and people love you. So thanks for everything you did on there.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to hear.
And I've got a bunch of questions from listeners actually for you, but I got a couple for myself here too. So just, thinking about, hey, what characters do we want to come on, and what would we like to see them do? One of the ones I always thought of is T-Dog, because you had this conflict with Merle from right off the bat, where he beat T-Dog and then T-Dog dropped that key in the pipe and everything. So I want to know from you what you think, like when Merle came back to the prison, if T-Dog had still been around, how do you think that would have gone down?
Merle had he had his moment of redemption before he passed on. So I think that, Merle was different from who he was at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I think that those moments that he had with the group and with his brother, because maybe I think that Daryl rubbed off on Merle in a certain way and just kind of opened him up a bit more to people that did not think like he did or look like he did, and I think that contributed greatly to his redemption. So I don't think there would have been much of a conflict. Not as much as there was at the beginning with between Merle and T-Dog, and the little bit of conflict that they did have. I think communication would have solved it. Wouldn't have been much. I think they would have been probably ended up being buddies. That would have been really cool to see that.
It
too.
would have been cool. Just to see an episode between. Also, I think Merle he ran out of his stash too, so I think that made a big difference in his personality.
Yeah, I guess so.
He was all like coked up or something in that first episode.
That's right. Yeah.
So when you think back on your time on the show, what kind of things stand out in your mind?
It used to be, the word that used to come to mind, Jason, was surreal when I would describe my time on the show. But then now, just instantly, when you ask that question, it was amazing. That was the word that popped into my head. And it was such an amazing time. Especially looking in retrospect, we were doing something so phenomenal. And we didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And it
was just kind of a seed back then, right?
Yeah. We were just planting that seed, and we were just having fun. working in the hot sun and under the Georgia heat, under the Georgia sun. And it was like, man, we were just bonding and not even knowing that, what we were creating at that time would be so special. So now the word is amazing and special and surreal.
Who were you bonding with most?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Most, man, in different ways. Let me see. You know what? I think with me, it's and although, a lot of people would question it, but for me, I can't pinpoint one person because what I do is I I'm an open book.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've realized over time is that when I share a part of me with people, or all of me really, with people, they tend to share themselves with me. So it and an expression I use is disclosure begets disclosure, and that's one
Yeah.
thing I learned as a freshman in college in my speech communications class. It was interpersonal communications,
Mm.
and it's disclosure begets disclosure. And I disclosed to them about my life story and what I had been through, what I had gone through in my life, and all of my losses, my tragedies, my transgressions, everything that I had done wrong in my life, my regrets, if you want to call it that. And they ended up disclosing back to me. So we bonded on another level. And I would have to say on a very personal and spiritual level. So I can't just say one person because I did that with just about every adult,
Yeah.
every adult that was on the set during season one, especially, and season two with Scott Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And and I even had moments with Emily and
Mm-hmm.
Elsie. We had moments, but that first season, everybody seemed like all the adults.
All in it together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've talked about this on stage a couple of times, I think, with you, but never on the podcast. So everybody on this podcast knows that I got to be a zombie in the season 2 finale because I mention it every chance I get. And but one night I was out there standing in the cold, and the crowd was zombies, about, I don't know, 12 or 15. And, we'd see the cast members off in the distance, but I saw you walk by fairly close, but, you were still off a little ways. And I was just like looking, oh my God, there's Irony Singleton, there's T-Dog. And you just like turned your head and focused right in on me and walked past a couple other zombies that came over and gave me a big hug.
Wow. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You
And I
know
was
something?
like, what?
I'm sorry. Maybe you called me with your energy.
Yeah,
If you were
I
like,
think
as I
so.
was walking by, like, hey, there's Irony, there's T-Dog walking by. What is, and I probably felt your energy. Because see, the
Yeah.
thing about it is that people think that that stuff is miraculous, which I think that it is, because we have miracles to happen every day. We just ignore those miracles because they're so common. This stuff is common for, say, for me to make it out of the ghetto, the projects,
Hmm.
and to have overcome everything I overcame. That's a miracle. A woman having a child is a miracle. You see, so but we take that stuff for granted. It's like you just had your child, and that was a miracle taking place. But it
Hmm.
happens every day. It happens so much that we just kind of take it for granted. And I think what happened was with the two of us, maybe there was a connection. I felt your energy come towards me, and it probably made me turn to you. So I think we can bond on that level if we tap into it. If we take enough time, if we stop focusing or being distracted by the mundane things in life, we can actually tap into that. I really believe that, and that's probably what happened.
It was great,
Perhaps.
man.
I don't
It
know.
felt really good, and I appreciated it.
Wow.
I never forgot
Wow.
it.
Well, thank you.
So interesting. It's not, I guess it's not really surprising at all to hear you talk about disclosure begetting disclosure, because I know that you wrote a book about your history. You have your one-man show. You're just really inspiring when we do these panels. So it seems like you've just taken that to a bigger level in your life.
Yeah, that is my mission. That's my mission in this life, and I there is no other purpose. I think that everything else trickles down from that. Me giving my all of the love I have in me. Truth and love is my motto, and that's how I do my best to live my life day in and day out. And because, again, given everything that I've overcome, it's a miracle that I'm here today. And I think that that miracle, God allowed that to happen because I had a bigger purpose. Like I had a, just like we all as individuals, we're all created differently. We're interconnected. We're connected with one another, but we're different for a reason because we have our individual attributes to offer to the world. And I think that if we don't, make the most of what we're given, then we're shortchanging society.
Mhm.
We're doing humanity an injustice. So I just want to be the very best person that I can be before I leave this earth. And that requires me to love and respect everybody I come into contact with, to be kind to everyone and to inspire them or motivate them if I'm able to, the best way I know how.
Yeah,
And from that, everything else just kind of handles itself, Jason. And that's how I try to live my life.
that's beautiful. I'm smiling.
That's because the baby's making you smile. What's his name? Is he a junior? He's
He's
junior.
his name's Irony. No, just kidding. It's Bodie.
Bodie.
Bodie
Nice,
Kabat.
nice.
Yeah.
Bodie. What inspired you to name him Bodie?
Our first son is Nico, and it just sounded nice, Nico and Bodhi. But it means awakened and enlightened, and kind of the
Oh,
hippies in us like that, aware.
oh, nice. What about Nico? What does Nico
We
mean? Yeah.
just like the sound of it. My wife is Taiwanese, and I have some Italian background, so it sounded kind of Asian and kind of Italian too.
Okay. I just instantly thought about Rizzoli and Isles. I was like, that's a TV show coming up? Maybe give it about 15 years. They're gonna have their own, no, maybe 20 years, have their own show.
He's a bit of a ham sometimes. So like I mentioned, I got a bunch of questions from listeners, so I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of those.
Yes.
So Robin Springer, this is kind of broad, but she says, please get him to talk about his early years, his time playing football at UGA, and why he calls himself Irony instead of Robert, and his one man show. He's a great
Mm,
guy.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. You're so sweet for saying that. I'll go backwards then. Irony, which is it means an eagle in flight. I've coined the term to mean an eagle in flight with an unbroken spirit. And we all know irony meaning that which is not expected because I guess the stats said that I wouldn't make it out. The statistics said that I would not make it out of the projects, given
Mm.
that my mother, I lost my mother at the age of 18 because she died from HIV complications. And Jason, you've heard me tell the story so many times, but she was addicted to crack and she was an alcoholic. And my father, we didn't have a relationship. I saw him two times in my life, and my brother, who's been in and out of jail for the last 20 years. He's been arrested multiple times. It's become somewhat seemingly like a lifestyle to him. And with me running the streets and selling drugs and having carried a pistol and all that stuff back in my formative days, back in the projects, through the grace of God, I was able to make it out of there, and I ended up at the University of Georgia, where I was on scholarship. I ended up at Kentucky State my freshman year, which I don't talk about in the book because it was so brief. It was a brief time, so I just kind of combined that. And I was on scholarship, academic scholarship, and eventually got a partial athletic scholarship where I played football at UGA and became a theater major there. So, as an icebreaker, when I graduated from college, I went to LA for a little while, and I came up with the name Irony, and that was about in 2000, 2001, because I wanted it to serve as an icebreaker. And I knew that what I had gone through could help somebody else to get through what they were going through. I knew that it was a pretty inspirational story because I thought it was miraculous that I was breathing. I was like, I'm breathing. Like, my goodness, I'm not in, I'm not dead or I'm not in prison because a lot of my friends, Robin, I had lost them. I lost a bunch of them coming up, and I lost a bunch of family members. And the fact that I was pursuing my dream of being an actor was so amazing to me, and I just wanted to share it with the world. So I came up with Irony so that when people ask me, like you asked about my name, Irony, how I came up with it, then I would be able to tell my story and hopefully motivate other people. And it's and it's I think it's quite effective because it turned into a one man show,
Yeah.
and people talk
Yeah.
about how much they're inspired by
Yeah, they do. I mean, I
it.
always see lines at your booth over there at the cons, and people have big smiles on their faces and seem to be having a good time over
You
there.
know what though, Jason? That's a
What?
spiritual connection. It really isn't. I really don't think it's as much about T Dog as it is about our oneness with each other. And that was
Right.
another speech communications class I had
Yeah.
at the University of Georgia that taught me about. I learned about Mayat, which is a way of living. It's like an old African proverb to where we're all one. It's called an harmonious oneness, where we're not just one with each other, but we're one with nature as well. So
Mm.
we're connected to everything. So when I see the fans and the love I have for them, it just comes out, and the love they have for me on a spiritual level, that comes out, and we just bond. We just
Yeah.
bond. So it's like, forget
Love
about
it.
T Dog for the moment. We just connect, and
Right.
it's beautiful.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
T Dogs just sort of opens the door
yeah,
for
yeah.
real stuff. So
That's it.
the I want to mention real quick for people, check out the book Blindsided by the Walking Dead, which you can get from ironsingleton.com, right? That
Yes.
has all this stuff in there, and then you can also find out how to see the one man show, which is called the same thing, Blindsided by the Walking Dead. But I wanted to mention to you, what did you think of the episode with Morgan and Eastman?
Oh, I loved it.
Right? That
I
was one of mine
loved
and
it.
Karen's
Yeah,
favorites. Yeah.
yeah. Two of my favorite characters because of what they were about. Eastman, I would have to tell you, and I think that if I had to choose, like if I really had to choose a favorite character, it probably Eastman would be at the top of my list
Yeah. We
because
loved
of
him.
what, yeah, yeah,
Because
just
of what
what
he
he
went
was about.
through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was so touched, and my wife and I both, we were just so moved watching that episode. And then when it went off, if I recall correctly, I think that I probably said to her, or she said to me, and the other agreed that that might have been our favorite episode, and he could possibly be our favorite character. And we just kind of nodded like, yeah, possibly. But he only did one episode,
I
which hurt
know.
me. That
I
hurt.
know. I know.
Oh,
It's
I
like
wanted more of him.
it's like a James Dean or something. You don't get enough, and then what
Yeah,
you did get becomes more special, though. But
right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
what the way, just the way you were talking reminded me of that, because yeah, we loved his outlook so much. But let me get to another listener
Hmm.
here. This is Josh Svijanovic says, "Do you think Carol has earned the sacrifice T Dog gave so she could live? What would you think of the path she's taken as a character?"
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. She has definitely earned her right to continue surviving. She has been phenomenal. I think that it has her journey has done so much to inspire not only women but everybody. Like, look at what she's come from. She's come from an abusive background where she didn't have a backbone at all. She had no confidence in who she was, and now to see how far she's come to have saved the entire group at Terminus, it sends such a powerful message to the world, to anybody watching, saying that whatever I'm going through in life, I can get through it. And I've heard people tell me that about Carol and her journey. They said they used to go through this and they went through that, and they watched Carol and they were inspired and they were motivated to become bigger and better than who they once were. So she has definitely earned her
Yeah.
right, Josh. Yes.
Absolutely. All right.
Hmm.
Kristen Hall says, did he give himself a backstory to work off of? And there was so much about T Dog that was never fleshed out. I would have liked to know him more.
Yeah, my backstory was basically what I kind of explained to Robin, just in answering Robin's question. It's my life story. And what makes it easy for me as an actor, I realized early on, I said, I took a playwriting class in college and I wrote a play about it was set in London, which I had never been at the time. I had never been to London, but here I
Mm,
am writing about Brits and all this stuff. And my playwriting professor gave me maybe a D.
mm.
I didn't get a good grade for that's when they were giving out D's. And and so he said, no, what you want to do is write about what you know. And I applied that to I guess my life as an actor. So I said, so, my characters, when I'm doing my character work, when I'm developing my character, I'll just use the life that I know better than any other life. And that's my life. So if I can apply anything that I've gone through in my life to the characters that I'm playing, I do. And that's what I did for Tito because he was most similar to who I am than probably any other character I've played. And so I took the background of growing up destitute in the inner city, in an inner city housing project, and having gone through all those things and ending up at Georgia. And I said T Dog was a football player who was a business major, though. See, so that's where I kind of branched off from my life, where I was a theater major and speech communications major, but I made T Dog like a business major or
Mhm.
something like that. And he graduated and became this blue collar slash white collar worker. He was something as we would say maybe a bank teller or something like that, you know?
And he seemed
Um,
more reserved than you, right? Wouldn't you say?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, in that world for sure, but you never know before the apocalypse hit.
Right.
He could have been a little more maybe animated or theatrical or whatever you want,
Right.
colorful if you want to
Mhm.
call it that. But yeah, in the apocalypse, yeah, certainly.
Got it. Let's see. Kellyanne wants to know who's the one cast member you would have loved to work with on the show but didn't get a chance to.
Oh man, I've become so fond of pretty much everybody. I would have to say everybody that I've met out on the circuit, at the cons. I've become so fond of them. Um, it's hard to pick just one. Morgan instantly popped into my head for some
Mm-hmm.
reason. I think that because he's similar to an Eastman
Eastman, yeah.
and Herschel and Dale. I tend to fall in love with those kinds of characters, the characters that have such a solid moral grounding, moral foundation. And those are the characters that I'm interested in having a scene with or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And plus,
Morgan,
Lenny James is pretty awesome.
he's a great guy as well. But all of my castmates, and even the ones
Yeah.
that followed us, they're great people, and that's one of the reasons why I like getting out. In addition to meeting all the fans and saying thank you, thank you, thank you so much for loving this show and all the love you've given this show over the years, but because I've developed a love and a bond with them as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you all caught up? You still watching?
I'm 4 episodes behind.
Okay.
I know, but we have a couple of more weeks though
Yeah. It's a dark
before the reboot.
season, man. So,
Yeah, it's been painful. Starting at episode 1 with Glenn and Abraham
yeah. That
getting it.
really affected a lot of people. Our audience is kind of divided on it, I would say.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
So,
Tough.
Rima Joe would like to know what would be T Dog's strategy for going up against Negan.
This is one person you said, Riemann Joe,
Rima Joe.
Rima Joe. Oh, Rima Joe.
Yeah.
Um, I think T Dog really has one go-to strategy or philosophy, and that is using the power of communication. I think that, Negan thinks that he's a psychological wizard. He
Hmm.
thinks that he can play with people's minds or what have you. But, I think at the end of the day, people can't deny the power of sincerity, of truth and love.
So maybe pierce through that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though it might be deep down inside of him, but I think it's in every human being, every living being on this earth, a living human being, because we are behavioral beings. I wouldn't say animals because they're more instinctual, but we're behavioral beings. So we have the ability to behave, to love, to embrace, to show compassion, but it's buried a lot deeper in some, more so than others. So that would be my strategy. Just talk, communicate, and maybe there will be a breakthrough.
Love it. I love it. Okay, we're coming up to the end here. One thing that we have asked just about everybody we've had on to do for us is to do a little zombie sound.
A zombie sound. Do you like put all the sounds together and make
Yeah, early on, like we had Andy on, and this
yeah.
was before kind of Walking Dead solidified the new zombie sound as being kind of whispery, and he just went like this, whoa.
Wait a minute, he said yeah, Lincoln sounded more like a ghost there, didn't he?
I know, I know.
Let me see if I can come up with a zombie
Okay, okay.
sound. How long should I hold it?
That's good.
That's good.
I
That's
like
good.
it. I like it. That's and come to think of it, I was going to ask you. So you got this single that's coming out. It's a remix, a rock mix of "We Are the Walking Dead." That's from the point of view of a zombie. So,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that.
Oh my goodness. The song is called We Are the Walking Dead. And if memory serves correctly, I think that Sarah Wayne, the lovely Sarah
Hmm.
Wayne Callies, I think she came up with that expression because when we were working and we were working together under the hot sun again, and we were bonding with one another, and we might have had a character to die, and she came up with this idea of having a death dinner. We started having the death
Mm.
dinner, and then from that point on, I think we started. She started referring to us as, we are the Walking Dead. And this was, well, actually, it might have been around the time where there was all of this stuff going on with Frank Darabont.
Right.
You remember that whole
Uh,
thing, and we
mhm.
all had we all
Drama.
came together. Yes, so we had a cast meeting with outside the execs or whatever. I don't know
Hmm.
if that's ever been talked about, but we had a cast meeting. We said that, look, no matter what, we are the Walking Dead. Wow.
That's
So
awesome. I didn't know
yeah, and
that.
we embraced that. We just
Right.
embraced that term, and I kept that with me. And at the end, at some point in time, at the end of season one, season two, she gave us all a necklace or a pendant or something, and it had that on there. We are the Walking Dead. So I wrote a song called "We Are the Walking Dead." But I focused on telling it, like personifying the zombies and telling it from their point of view for the most part, and talking about the world. I made it reflective of the world that we live in and how we affect one another. And it seems as though if one person has that virus, they can rub off on other people to give them the virus. But the only way to overcome it is through truth and love. But I have a rock band that I've just gotten with, and called Surface Rising. It's a Canadian rock band, and we just thought it would be a good idea to collaborate and do this song. And I think it's a really amazing song. Call me biased, but
It's
I
rocking,
think it's
man. It
awesome.
makes me want to dance.
Oh, so you
Uh,
listen to it?
yeah, I did. Yeah,
Oh,
got
cool,
me
cool. Thank
going.
you.
So
Good, good.
I'm gonna play it during the outro here. But how can people get it?
Oh, they can go to my website for now. And the next few weeks, it'll be maybe 3 weeks from now before the airing of the mid-season premiere. It should be available on iTunes and everywhere else. But
Okay.
right now, they can get it from my website, ironsingleton.com. So they definitely want to get it prior to the airing of the mid-season premiere because you guys want to rock out at your party. So I know y'all have the screenings or what have you. So
Sweet.
yeah, the Walking Dead parties.
Sweet. All right, dude. Thank you so much for
Oh,
coming on. Took
oh,
too long.
yeah, I know. What
I
took so
love you.
long? You said
I don't
seven
know.
years. I love
Yeah.
you, brother. Thank you,
Saving the best
Jason.
for last.
Oh my
I
goodness.
yeah, I'm so glad to be able to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in London. Right, you guys are going to be there.
Yes, I'm
That'd be
excited about that. I'm excited. I'm ready.
all right, man. Thank you so
And
much.
give Nico and Bodie a big hug for
I
me.
will.
I love you, brother. Love you guys, and I'll see you in London.
All
All
right.
right.
Love to you.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Peace.
Versus me, the youngest man tragedy. Mind changing from blood and gore. What a catastrophe. They fight by murder. They don't mean enemies. Sensitization from eating up and got the best of me. To play with madness, man. It's like a drug apocalyptic zombie land. Untouchable insanity. You can make this place. To meet the twisted needs of all the sons of Sam. Destroy humanity. Cause we are the Walking Dead. We are the Walking Dead. With impunity, no, there's no unity. Oh, we know you would think there's just cruelty. But like, as you know it's what we call a memory one. Right from Monday to what we call history one. Slug to the head, the difference between you and me. Not to mix and rock and fest, that's not so fresh for me. Just up here, camouflage women turn the other way. They turn their nose up. You smell like it's just what you get for being bit, for being bit. Cause we are the Walking Dead.
All right, we're back. Thanks again to Irony. We actually haven't done the interview when I'm saying this, but I'm sure it was awesome. And it's time for our first sponsor. It is Blue Apron, which is this week especially one of my favorites. I'll tell you why in a second. But Blue Apron can really have an impact on your household, on your family. Cooking together builds strong family bonds, and research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. Well, I know that my family does because as I've said, I've been sick with the flu this week, and Jenny's been really good to me. And even though we have a new baby in the house, she found time to make 3 Blue Apron meals during this
Are you
week.
kidding?
I know, nuts.
She's a
Huh?
hero.
Totally. So here's what she made. She made orange and mirin glazed cod with warm barley and broccoli salad.
Oh my God, I bet that was great.
Peebly style pork with collard greens and citrus rice, and seared chicken with mashed potatoes, kale, and mushrooms. And I even made one. I made Indonesian spiced salmon with frike, whatever that is, and
It's green.
marinated radishes. And it was all delicious. I mean, there were no duds in there. They were all good. I'm not usually
so
much of a cook,
great.
but I can follow instructions. And these are easy to follow. They have pictures, so you can see exactly what you're doing.
And what a great thing for a family that's just had a baby.
Yeah,
I mean, it's perfect.
yeah, it's the best because you get these really, really good, tasty meals, freshly cooked, and it's the least amount of work possible if you're going to cook for yourself. I didn't really even say what Blue Apron is. I assume most of you know, but you get the exact ingredients you need plus a recipe, and they send you a certain amount each week. And it's totally awesome. We also like that Blue Apron cares about how they impact the community at large. The seafood is sourced sustainably under standards developed in partnership with Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. The beef is raised humanely. The chickens are free range. The pork is raised naturally. All kinds of stuff like that. Regenerative farming practices for the produce. They can be delivered to 99% of the continental U.S. and 99.5% of food deserts. And because Blue Apron ships the exact amount of each ingredient required for a recipe, they're reducing food waste. Which
is awesome.
Yeah, and we also often do have leftovers, which I eat for lunch next day. So that's awesome. You get a little bit more. So I had dinner and then I ate some for lunch today. Some of the meals, you can't go wrong just talking about what meals are coming up, because hearing about it just makes me hungry and want more. So here's some of the meals coming up. Spicy shrimp and Korean rice cakes with cabbage and veer cake. Pork chops and garlic piccata with scallion rice and spinach. Mushroom and chipotle pepper enchiladas with lime sour cream. That all sounds really good.
It really does.
There's a taco one that's in my fridge right now that I might make tonight. So you can check out this week's menu, and you can get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/deadcast. And you'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. It really will feel good, especially those first 3. They're free. It's like, I'm getting this for free. This is amazing. But you'll want to get more. So that's blueapron.com/deadcast. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Thanks, Blue Apron.
Thank you.
Attention, shoppers. Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. It's our Deadcast Top 5. This is one of our old school goofy top 5s that we love. It's our top 5 characters we'd want to return to The Walking Dead, and in what scenes or situations we'd like to see them in.
You know what? One of the things I love about doing top 5 lists like these ones are that, it can't happen. They can't resurrect. I mean, they can. It's a zombie show. They can. But only the zombies.
Not really. Yeah. And even most of the characters, their brains have been destroyed, so they can't. But I didn't mean for this. I was just like, forget about ways that they could plausibly bring him back. Let's just say, let's say Shane was on the show now and he never died. Right. Then, stuff like that.
Exactly. I love when we do top 5s like these. It's really fun. Too, it forces you to be creative too.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to go first? All right. So my number 5, I'm gonna say my number 5 is Glenn. I didn't order these, but I'm just going to pick them out of the blue this time. Okay. Glenn, yes, he hasn't been gone for very long, but by golly, do I miss him. What I would like to have seen with Glenn is him teaming up with Maggie and him being a dad.
Yeah.
He was so kind. He was the kindest character. And I think he would have handled fatherhood beautifully. And maybe it's just thinking about my co-host being a dad again, but it makes me pretty sentimental. And I would love to have seen Glenn with his baby. And we know that he was a good partner to Maggie and he was a great member of the team. So it makes me think that he would have been an amazing father. So
absolutely. Yeah. He would have been a great father for sure.
Yep. And he was, I made no bones about it. He was my favorite character. And I'm really super sad that he's gone off the show.
Yeah. The only thing that really, there's 2 things that bug me about him. One is that he went along with it when they had him knife those saviors in their sleep. Also killing Randall. I really didn't think Glenn would have gone for, but he was much younger and more, I don't know, impressionable back then. And then the other one is something else that I can't remember right now. Oh, I just liked him better when he was goofier versus being all serious all the time. I mean, I think he's still a great person, but as far as interesting to watch, it was more fun when he stumbled over his words and stuff.
Yeah, it's a more serious time now.
It is, yeah. And they brought back some of that a little bit, like that time he went into the building and there was a big commotion and he like ran into a mannequin or something. Right. That was pretty recent.
Right.
But I agree with you. If I'm going to pick the characters that I want to come back, that just be out of me personally liking them as characters, as people, I would pick Glenn, T-Dog, Bob, and Axel, the prisoner guy.
Axel, really?
Because he was a good dude, and he had that thing getting started with Carol, and he was just seemed wise and everything. And they were going to do a storyline where he turned out to be some kind of a serial killer or something, but they decided not to, so that's not canon. But anyway, okay, my turn. So mine are more like I want to see just things that I want to see carried out on the show that I think would be cool. So my number 5 is Governor meeting Negan.
Yes. Yeah, I have that on my list too.
Yeah, and I think Negan would probably, maybe he would destroy the governor. He has the numbers, and I think if he did his usual MO, he would come in and look around for somebody to kill that would hurt the governor, but not too much. Like with Rick, he wouldn't kill, say, Carl, because that would just be too much. Rick would just go insane. So he picked what he thought was Rick's right-hand man. But even so, I still think that maybe Negan might go ahead and kill Penny just because Penny's a zombie, and that would crack Negan up.
Yep.
He'd make fun of the governor. You're stuck on that little thing.
Although I got to tell you that yes, you're right. Negan would be making fun of the governor for sure, but I think that I don't know. I think the governor would be a good foil for Negan. I don't know how to say it exactly. I think it'd be
interesting because the governor, as soon as he figured out what was going on, he would keep his cards close to his vest.
Yeah.
Right? He wouldn't. So maybe he could plot and plan. And I would even see him possibly working with Rick if there was an opportunity to do that.
Right.
Exactly. To try and stop Negan. But I want to see what happens when Negan finds the aquariums with the zombie heads. He's like, "You're one crazy fucked up dude. I love that." What's going on in that head of yours, man?
Zombie head in the aquarium?
Yeah. I want to see that, I want to see that scene. I'm not going to say for sure who would. Maybe the governor could, end up prevailing it with help from other people. But if it's just a straight up battle, he's not going to win because he doesn't have the forces for it. So he would have to outsmart him.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's one thing the governor could be really, really good at. Is the governor could definitely outsmart Negan.
What became his downfall though is he got triggered to the point where he's like, "All right, just go kill him," and then charged into battle and got destroyed. I mean, that happened with Rick's people, so of course, if he did that with Negan, it's going to be even worse of a beating.
It's interesting because they really both are psychos, let's face it. Governor and Negan, they're both psychos. But it's funny, I feel like I was more sympathetic with the governor. Like I feel like he was a more fully realized character. They went and did a little bit of his backstory, and you found out a little bit more about his motivation. And you could see who he loved. He loved Penny, his zombie daughter. So he's definitely more of a sympathetic character, and that would make me root for him. Although I remember also hating the governor too.
Yeah.
So hard to know who I'd root for.
Yeah.
Just destroy each other, would you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like saying, would you rather see Hitler or Darth Vader win or something, It's like, well, Darth Vader killed the whole planet.
Yes, I would like them both to just kill each other and get rid of the psychos in the storyline so we can just get, back to good old-fashioned zombie killing.
But I agree. I mean, based on what we know now, I'd say the governor, given his 2 seasons, was more fully realized by the end of that, and we haven't seen that kind of thing with Negan so far.
Not yet. Maybe we will.
Okay, your turn. Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is Abraham. And yes, again, I know he hasn't been gone that long, but I do miss him very much. And I would have loved to see him fighting Negan. We only saw him really with Negan for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and he stood up to him the whole time.
He did.
No sense of cowering at all.
He was the most defiant one in the entire group when they all met Negan. And I think Negan even said as much. I mean, and the first bash, he was right there being as defiant as ever because he is a badass. And also, Negan seems to think he's the funniest guy in the land, but I don't think he has anything on Abraham. I think Abraham is the king of the funny one-liners. And I think he would have really put up a great fight against Negan. So in terms of who I want on my front lines, I would want Abraham. Abraham was powerful and funny and great, and I would love to have seen him take Negan down. But unfortunately, nothing played out that way.
No, and I don't think, if he didn't kill Abraham, let's say Abraham was the leader of the group and not Rick. Then Negan would have, found a way to either break him or kill him. And he broke Rick. So there's nothing saying he couldn't eventually break Abraham too. Or,
right.
Or if he couldn't, then just get him out of the way, which is sad.
Though Rick has more to lose, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He has 2 children, and I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's always thinking about his kids. Abraham never had that.
It all.
He already lost it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably one reason why he was able to just stand up to him.
Yep.
Like, well, I got nothing to lose, bro.
Nothing scarier than someone with nothing to lose.
And maybe, Negan could sense that.
Yep, that's right.
There's only one way to handle this guy.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why I picked him.
Okay, my number 4 is T-Dog and Merle.
T-Dog and Merle, that's not one person, that's 2.
Well, it's bringing T-Dog back to season 3 when Merle came in. When Merle came back to the show. Because T-Dog, let's just recap a little. T-Dog, he's this great guy. We found out that he used his church van to help evacuate seniors at the beginning of the apocalypse.
Wow, thank you for that reminder.
And he was just, he was generally a good person.
Yeah.
And when we first met Merle up on that roof, he called T-Dog the N-word. And then when T-Dog, I think, took a swing at him, Merle brutally beat him. And Rick interfered, and that's why he handcuffed Merle to the pipe, because of what was going on with Merle and T-Dog. Then later on, T-Dog, there's like a hacksaw up there somehow, and or a handsaw, and T-Dog accidentally dropped the handcuff key down the pipe. Oops. Whoops. And it was an accident.
Sorry.
Although
yes, it was.
It seemed like it anyway. And then so then they had to leave Merle up there to fend for himself against the Zeds, and that's why he cut off his hand. So he had a reason to be upset with T-Dog, and T-Dog had a big reason to be upset with Merle, and that's why I was like, oh man, cool, Merle's coming back. I want to see how it is between them. How do they resolve that? And
right.
I felt like we got robbed because T-Dog died saving Carol.
Yes. Right.
So he's a hero
in the prison.
And Merle had been in episodes with the governor, but it just wasn't fate to be. So if T-Dog had survived and Merle ended up at the prison, how do you think it would have played out between them?
Not well.
I know. Even though Merle at this point was a little bit more repentant, he was less drug-addled because he couldn't find any heroin in the mattresses or anything.
the crystal blue.
Or, probably meth was more what he was looking for.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so...
maybe it would have been different because they had mellowed out a little bit, or maybe it just would have been a very crunchy moment. Oh yeah, hey, I remember when you dropped the key accidentally.
And I remember when you beat me, you bastard.
Right.
Well, I think it would have been fun to see an episode where they were forced to try and have to do something together, kind of like Merle ended up with Michonne, but it was T-Dog instead.
Yes. Right.
Just to see how that would have played out.
Remind me.
That would have been awesome.
Remind me, Michonne and Merle, how did they figure it out? I can't even remember.
Figure what out? I think Michonne was, or maybe Merle was forcing Michonne to take him to the governor to handle it. I forget exactly, but you wondered whether Merle was going to Gil and Michonne, I think, or maybe it was the other way around. I can't remember. I should have looked into that. But whatever that was, if you just substitute T-Dog in there, it would have been a lot richer because of their history together.
Right.
And I would have liked to see them come to some kind of a reluctant, understanding of each other, kind of like Merle did with Michonne.
Have you ever asked Irony about that? What he thinks would have happened had he been able later to see Merle?
I may have asked it about 20 minutes ago on this podcast. I don't know because we haven't recorded the interview yet. But I'll try to remember to do that.
Yeah, do it. That's my question to him.
Okay. Your turn.
This FaceTime continuum is all weird
all
this episode. Up. I don't know. All right. So now I'm going to tell you about, it's funny because all the situations or scenes, the scenarios that I imagine are all, I didn't even really get into it, like thinking about earlier things. I thought, what about dead characters in this current episode, like in the now? So if you catch what I'm talking about. So my number 3 is Herschel. I miss Herschel and I miss his sweetness, and I wish he was alive right now.
I should put him on my list too of people I really like. Herschel and even Dale. They go on there too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's probably a theme for almost all my characters. Almost all. I'm glad he didn't have to see Beth die because that was brutal in the hospital. But and it would have been an awful thing for him to witness. But I would like to have seeing his daughter Maggie rise to power and showing us who is the boss over at Hilltop Community. Mm-hmm. And I get the feeling also that he would have been an amazing grandfather. So I would like for him to be there to while Mag is out taking names and not taking any crap from anybody. He'd be there with their kid. So Herschel. There you go.
One thing about the deaths on this show is that the writers often say there needs to be a reason before a death happens. And usually that reason has to do with another character. So, for example, if Sophia was back, then we almost certainly wouldn't have the Carol that we have now. Right. Sophia dying had a lot to do with how Carol ended up, and she's a character that everybody loves. So I was thinking, I guess if Herschel was back, but he was still, at, say, Alexandria, and Maggie ended up at Hilltop, you could still have that storyline and then have Herschel come and admire Maggie. I mean, I think if Glenn was never gone, then you wouldn't be having this Maggie storyline at Hilltop.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe.
I think, maybe. Yeah, she's really been galvanized by this. She's not taking any more shit from anybody now.
Although the first time she met the mayor of Hilltop, whose name I can't remember.
Gregory.
Glenn
was still alive, and she still didn't take any shit from him.
Still a boss.
You're right. So maybe I'm wrong about that. That's a good point.
I think she was starting on her journey. I think actually she was starting on her journey at Alexandria about figuring out that she could be a leader.